Library Connection. I'm Tracy Thomas, Director at the B.B. Comer Library, and I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's always fun to get to come to you and do something that's meaningful, like sharing with you about the mission of the library and the way that we're connecting with people in the community. And we also want to thank TV 47 for always being such a good partner and helping us to fulfill this mission. Today we're going to be talking about something that's been kind of highlighted more over the last few years, and we've got Christy Knowles, who is the Chief Human Resource Officer at Coosa Valley Medical Center, and Christy's going to be a familiar face for a lot of you. And today we're going to be talking about something called soft skills.
That's right.
But before we get into that, I want to give you a chance just to welcome you and to let you tell everybody about yourself, because I know they recognize your face. You've been a part of the Sylacauga community for a long time.
I have actually been at Coosa Valley Medical Center. This is my 15-year anniversary this month, so very point that I'd be here this morning. I am the Chief Human Resource Officer at Coosa Valley Medical Center, and I have just been very privileged to be at that facility for as long as I have. It's a great organization. I've been very proud and privileged to be a part of it. But also in the community, I work with, there's a HR group here locally, and I work with them. I also work, there's a healthcare HR group statewide that I've been fortunate enough to work with, and currently work with workforce development for this region. It's a large region that Talladega County is a part of.
Now, one of the groups that you work with is the group that helps put on events at the Chamber of Commerce sometimes. Is that?
That's right, and most recently, actually, last week, the Workforce Development put together Worlds of Work that I know a lot of our 8th graders here in town attended. It was a great hands-on with all the different industries, and healthcare was part of that. Coosa Valley Medical Center was part of that, so we're very proud to be part of all that.
My 8th grader attended that.
Oh, wonderful!
So
wonderful.
Thank y'all for putting that together.
Yes.
It was a really nice event, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're going to talk about soft skills, and that's something that a lot of people, if you broke the skills down individually, they would say, oh, I know about that. I know what that is. But when you talk about soft skills as a package, a lot of people say, well, I'm not really sure that I understand what you're talking about. And we kind of had a springboard at the library. We've been watching a lot of the Simon Sinek TED Talks. And, TED Talks are really interesting ways to present your mission in an 18-minute format where you get to the heart of what you're doing in 18 minutes.
Right.
So we started watching some of those, and Simon Sinek just made so much sense with what he was talking about, the trend that we see, especially with millennials. And I said, before we started, I don't want to make out like I think technology is, the devil. I don't, absolutely not. But we do know that technology does have some bearing on interpersonal skills and the way that we relate to each other. So we had some books come in at the library, and one is called Bridging the Soft Skills Gap. And this book is such a good book because it outlines what are some of the soft skills that people are maybe missing in today's society, and it also gives like some lesson plans for if you're trying to develop those soft skills in yourself or in your employee. It has some suggestions. And then another one that caught our attention is called Reskilling America, where it kind of goes into the trend that we're seeing now of trying to encourage kids to maybe look at vocations and, as well as college choices. So these books kind of were a springboard for our conversation today. So without any more ado, I want to turn it over to you, Christy, and let you just kind of explain to us what soft skills are.
Okay. Well, that can be a very broad topic, but I'll just try to narrow it down. I think soft skills, when you think about it, it's the people skills, it's communication skills, it's the ability to work with teams. Here's one, patience. I think our younger workforce, they have some trouble with patience sometimes. It's a very at your fingertips world, right? I mean, everything you want is right there. And so sometimes it's hard to wait for something to come. My son is a great example of that. We talk about that a lot in our home. So, but teamwork, the ability to work as teams, it's just what our parents would have called how you present yourself, right? And how you interact. It's just those skills that sometimes, because of technology, and again, technology is wonderful. It's allowed us a lot of things that we wouldn't have had, but it has hurt us in our ability to learn and to teach some of those things that we just inherently grew up with.
That's right.
It wasn't something that you woke up in the morning to learn. You just learned it because that's how the world operated. And now we communicate by doing this and not using our mouth and our eyes. Everything's very blinded in how we communicate. And so it's just something we have to work a little harder on and acknowledge that.
Well, I think when we were growing up, if you went to a friend's house, that friend's parent might say to you, now, don't do that. Stop doing that. We felt like, it takes a village. We felt like we had people around us that were helping us kind of develop some of these interpersonal skills. I can remember, my grandparents and my parents saying, when you talk to somebody, you look them in the eye. You walk up, you shake their hand.
That's right.
You be quiet when they're talking and listen to what they're saying. So somewhere along the way, we've had some breakdown where we've lost some of those skills. And, soft skills, just summed up, are communication and social skills that we need to be able to do a job, to function in society, to build meaningful relationships.
That's right.
So soft skills are applicable across the board and not just on your job.
That's absolutely right.
All the way. But on a job, you have what we refer to as hard skills and soft skills.
That's right.
So do you want to talk about that for a minute?
There was a great quote in the book, Bridging the Skill Gap, that said, so many are hired for hard skills and lose their job over the soft skills or the lack thereof soft skills. And hard skills are your education, your competency, that you know what the job is and you know how to do the job. And one of the things I think has changed in the era of technology is that people no longer come into our facility to fill out an application.
Yes.
Right? People used to come into our facility, they would fill out an application, but they would also make an effort to come to us, talk to us, look us in the eye, shake our hand, sell themselves, because that's what looking for a job is. It's marketing yourself, and so that was very personable. I knew a gentleman that had, much like we all did at the time, a room that people went in to fill out an application, and he had a sign in there that said, your job interview starts here. Right? Well, that part of the job interview is gone. Technology is great. It's let us reach a much more broad audience. But through that, people are filling out the application in their home, on their devices in their car, wherever they are. They may be sitting at lunch and filling out applications, on their iPads and their iPhones. So we've lost that. But on our side, we've lost the ability to see people and kind of gauge those soft skills immediately. On the applicant side, they've lost the ability to sell themselves, to market. Now they have to, as a candidate, I have to market myself in an application and a resume harder than I used to have to, because I have to get on the top of that stack only on paper, yes, versus that face-to-face meeting that I used to have. So it's a great thing, but there are elements that have changed the way we do,
That's right.
Made a difference there.
We're seeing a lot at the library. We're seeing a lot of the filling out the applications, online, because so much of business has gone to that.
Yes.
So that's a trend that we're definitely seeing and that we're dealing with too, because, you've got a lot of people that are not, technology literate.
That's right.
Having to manage a piece of technology just to apply for a job. So that's something we're trying to work on the library's end. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Christy some more about what are some of the definite soft skills that we need to be learning and teaching.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
At Marble City Pharmacy, we're more than just a drugstore. Our gift shop boasts some of the most unique treasures you'll find anywhere. Come in and browse the vast selection of jewelry, purses, clothing accessories, and crafts. Let our friendly staff help you find that special card or gift for any occasion. Our dollar wall features selected sale items, and we stock a wide variety of specialty items. And if it is a drugstore you need, Marble City Pharmacy was named the 2015 McKesson National Pharmacy of the Year. Visit us today at Marble City Pharmacy.
Connect to nature. Connect to family. Camping World is here to help you make lasting memories. With thousands of parts and accessories available, service nationwide, and RVs as low as $109 a month, Camping World has it all. Now is your time to connect to excitement with savings on thousands of RVs. Plus, enjoy Good Sam Elite membership with every RV purchase. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
The Allen Companies of Sylacauga, with 3 locations to serve you: Highway 511, Highway 280, and Main Avenue. For all your convenience store needs, ice, drinks, snacks, and of course, some of the lowest priced gasoline at the pumps. It's the Allen Companies of Sylacauga. Highway 511, Highway 280, and Main Avenue. It's the Allen Company convenience stores.
Welcome back to the Library Connection. I'm Tracy Thomas, Director at the B.B. Comer Library, and today we've been talking with Christy Knowles, and Christy is the Chief Human Resource Officer at Costa Valley Medical Center, and we've been talking about soft skills. And you know, we touched on it the first half of the show about what soft skills are, and just to kind of recap for you, the soft skills are the communication and the social skills that we need to be able to function, you know, in society, in our personal relationships,
and everything.
More importantly, on your job too. Yes. In every way, we need those. But they're very important to functioning well in the work environment. And a statistic that I recently saw was from the state of California, and it was from their workforce development, and it said that there's estimated that 85% of a person's job is based on their soft skills, and only 15% is based on their hard skills. Can you speak to that?
Sure. I think, 85% is a big number, but I will say this. You can be very competent. You can be the most intelligent person that knows your job. But if you don't have the ability, and I say when communication is listen, if you don't have the ability to listen, and you don't have the ability to then articulate and problem solve and critical think and take direction and criticism, then that skill, that competence, it gets lost. You know, people will start to not realize what you know because they can't communicate with you. I can remember years ago, we had an initiative at the hospital where we created our Guest Excellence Grade. And the gentleman that helped us with that kept saying, people won't care what you know until they know that you care. And that know that you care, that's the soft skills, right? That is the being able to communicate with people at a core level to let them know that you're there for them, that you're not just smart. You care. Right. And, you know, and you can take that. Healthcare is obviously a very hands-on, very public place, but even in other positions where it's just coworkers, where you're dealing with coworkers, if your coworkers don't know that you care, that you have their interest on heart as much as your own, that causes problems. You know, and so it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're, more of a customer service or manufacturing or whatever, soft skills are still so important, because if people don't know that you are listening, that you can communicate, and that you are willing to problem solve, that just is huge barriers for people, and it won't ever get across what you know.
Well, we were talking about the hard skills. You can teach somebody the steps of how to do a job. So, in the healthcare industry, maybe it's teaching somebody how to run the IV pump. There's a defined set of steps. You do it, but you really can't teach them how to be compassionate.
That's right.
So that's where the soft skills come into play. And you were talking about communication, and so we actually found a list of 6 soft skills that everybody needs and that employers look for. Okay. Communication is the first one on the list. In the library, we have a lot of people that come in, and we're like the hospital much in the sense that we serve people of all ages, just like you do. So today you may be waiting on a pediatric patient, and tomorrow you may be doing something with a geriatric patient.
That's right.
So you serve the whole gamut like we do, and what we find is that when people come in and we're trying to assess what they're looking for, what their needs are, you've got to be able to communicate with them. So that's very important in the hospital setting as well.
That's right, and to listen. Part of that communication, 50%, is being able to listen and to hear what the need is, because it won't matter what you say if you haven't met the need. And that's what we talk about a lot.
And one of the things that we found is that sometimes, even if you're not exactly sure how to help somebody, if you just let them know, communicate with them and say, I am working on this, and I will get back with you. I think acknowledging somebody goes a long way too.
It does, absolutely. I think one of the, when people talk about the new generation coming in and the challenges, I think the biggest challenge really is not who the millennials are or who the baby boomers are. It's our ability to work together. And to your point, to tell people, hey, I'm going to get back. You just communicate that I'm going to get back with you, or communicate that I'm not understanding what you're asking for. Can you clarify? I think that's the biggest challenge. It's not who we are. It's working together, because we are different, and we're going to continue to be different. That's not going to change. And then there'll be a group out, behind the millennials that will be their own challenges and their own people, And so it is a matter of that open communication and not getting frustrated with people. Just acknowledging we're different and we are who we're going to be. Let's work through it instead of get frustrated by it.
I think that's a really good point. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, we're going to cover some more of the soft skills.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
At Fort Williams Pharmacy, you won't find motor oil, garden hoses, or mountain climbing gear. Nope, they don't have that. What they do have is a professional, friendly staff that understands your needs. Filling prescriptions is their primary business, and they take it seriously. They also have a drive-through window for your convenience and free local delivery. Most of all, Fort Williams Pharmacy knows your time is valuable, so when it's time to fill your prescriptions, you need it done fast, friendly, and accurately. Fort Williams Pharmacy, our family, caring for your family.
Connect to nature. Connect to family. Camping World is here to help you make lasting memories. With thousands of parts and accessories available, service nationwide, and RVs as low as $109 a month, Camping World has it all. Now is your time to connect to excitement with savings on thousands of RVs. Plus, enjoy Good Sam Elite membership with every RV purchase. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Welcome back to the Library Connection. Today we're talking with Christy Knowles, and Christy is the Chief Human Resource Officer at Coosa Valley Medical Center, and we've been talking about soft skills and, the communication, the social skills that we need to be able to do our jobs well. Right. And this list that we were covering is 6 soft skills that everybody needs and that employers look for. And communication was the first thing on the list, and we covered that. Adaptability is the next one on the list.
Okay. When it talks about adaptability, I think what it's referring to is someone's ability to change, right? I mean, our environment, our work environment is constantly changing. If technology's not changing, it's something else is, especially in healthcare. I think if I say healthcare, everybody thinks about what's going on with the Affordable Care Act and how that will, change. And so you have to be able to change and to adapt to change. I think that's a critical soft skill. And so people will be looking for that. That's something that you can sell yourself on in your resume and your application, is to talk about the changes that you've had in your career, what you've had to adapt to, maybe personally or professionally. I think that just shows part of that character that we're looking for.
Well, the next one is problem solving. And on a job, you do want somebody to seek you out for direction, but you also want them to have some level of problem solving skills.
That's right. I think, one thing that people talk about when they talk about millennials is their inability to think quickly on their feet. And, and again, there's always exceptions. That's just a few of them. But I do think that's necessary, because unfortunately, everybody finds themselves in a place at some point where the leadership is not around, right? There's not a go-to person. You are there in front of someone who has a problem, and you have to figure it out. and those inevitably come in all of our careers. And so people do have to be able to again, you have to be able to communicate, you have to listen, you have to figure out what the problem is, but then you do have to have a certain amount of problem-solving skills and then follow up with that. Because what if you didn't do maybe the completely right thing or all of what needed to be done? So to make sure that you do go back and communicate what's happened to someone so that they can help fill the gaps possibly with that. But there is a certain amount of problem-solving skills that today's workforce has to have at all levels. From entry level to the most professional leadership role, problem solving is there in every level.
Well, and then the next one is critical observation, and that goes right along with problem solving, because you've got to pay attention to what you're doing and sometimes to see the problem.
That's right. Not everybody says, hey, there's a problem, right? Sometimes those things have to be observed, especially in healthcare. One of the things that we always talk to our employees about is when you see someone that looks lost, right? And this is a very simple problem, but nonetheless, it's something we ask our staff to look for. If you see someone lost, we expect you to go up and approach them and ask them where they're trying to get to and take them there. Don't wait for someone to say, hey, I'm lost, can you help me? You know that look.
You've been there.
I have been there in our own hospital. And that's on a very small scale, but from a small to a big scale, to be able to identify and to be present in the moment. And I say that a lot because of this, right? Walking around. This takes us out of our ability to see some of that. We're not present in our moment. We're not present in our own world sometimes. And you have to be if you're going to observe something.
That's right.
Because not everyone's going to stop you and tell you what's going on.
Very good point. Well, the next one is a big one, and unfortunately sometimes we don't always do so well with this one, but that's conflict resolution.
Yes.
And that's not just, I guess, between employees to employee. That could be between employee and the customer end of the transaction.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it depends, again, what industry and how the environment in which you work. But absolutely, and I think conflict resolution is one of those things that it is a skill that is developed over time, right? I mean, no one comes out of the gate knowing how to resolve a conflict, but I think we do have the ability to approach it in the right way and then to learn from how we've handled it. I tell people all the time that have had an issue, they'll come back and I'll say, well, what did you learn from that? Because here's the thing, even if they handled it wrong, if they've learned from it, that was great, right? We try to take every moment as a teaching moment. And so conflict resolution is one of those things that I think has to be learned, and unfortunately be messed up maybe sometimes in the beginning to learn, but it is critical. And that goes back to having such a diverse workforce. This will be the first time in really our work history that 4 generations will be working in the same environment.
Wow.
And so that's going to inevitably cause some conflict. And so how we handle that will define really how that works, And I think, again, it's not about who the millennials are and who the baby boomers are and who everybody in between is. It's our ability to manage those relationships and to manage our differences and work through it.
I had never thought about the idea about 4 generations actually working in the same. Wow, the same scope. That's incredible. Well, the sixth most important soft skill is, we usually say show and tell, but it is don't tell, show. Show what you have, what your skills are, what you can do.
That's right. That's right. I think, it's important for the employee, right, to be able to show what they can do and to work through and try to work through their own problems. But I think when I think about show, not tell, I think about leadership.
Yes.
I think about leadership who maybe in the beginning gets frustrated but needs to stop and mentor and coach because that is how we will get through this soft skills gap. A lot of times some people, there's actually a very good program that the state of Alabama does through the community colleges called Ready to Work. It's a 6-week program. People can go through it. They actually get a certificate. It teaches soft skills. That is literally what it teaches, is soft skills. And if you have that and you present it as part of your application and your resume, again, you're marketing yourself and you're putting yourself on top of the stack. But a lot of people don't go through such an organized program, right? And so then it's up to us as leaders to teach those soft skills. And instead of getting frustrated, which sometimes we do, to have those moments of coaching, because that's how we're going to get over it. And I always say, don't coach it as this is what we expect at Coosa Valley Medical Center, or this is what our policy says. Explain to them that this is what they're going to need to do no matter where they are, because I think it makes it more real to them. Yes. Whether you're here or 500 miles away, when you need to call in to be sick, please don't send me a text that says, I'm not coming, COMIN apostrophe, with a little face with a thermometer sticking out. To actually call and say that. But don't get frustrated by it. Use it as a coaching opportunity, because that won't be appropriate no matter where they go in life, right? So.
Well, that ties into the mentoring thing, and I know that we have just a couple of minutes left, but in talking about how to teach soft skills, one of the big things they always tell you is find a mentor.
That's right. That's right. I think actually in reading about it and trying to look at it from the employee side, it said if you could not get into a formal program, much like Ready to Work that I've talked about, it said find a mentor, And again, people aren't out there advertising to be a mentor, but if you know someone that you spend a lot of time with that is a professional and has done well in their own profession, reach out to them. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. Reach out to them and say, will you mentor me? I know I am smart, I'm intelligent, I have all these skills, but I also know what I'm lacking. Reach out to them, and people will be glad to do that all day long.
Well, I think you're really blessed at the hospital with lots of people, lots of good examples of mentors.
Absolutely.
And I've certainly been blessed. Anybody that knows my story knows Dr. Shirley Spears has been my mentor since I was 21 and came to the library as a college dropout to go to work, and so she's been wonderful to me, and I just encourage anybody in that situation to find a mentor. We've talked about some soft skills. Of course, there's so many we can't even get into, but there's a lot of them, like self-confidence, resilience, persistence. There's so many. When you get to looking them up, I think you would see a list of things that you might want to improve on, and I certainly found some things on the list that I want to work on. But I do want to say before we end the show how proud the Comer Library is to be partners with Coosa Valley Medical Center. They've been one of our dear, dear partners for many years, and just always seem to be there when we need something, and we just are so honored to be their partner, and so thank you for...
Well, we treasure the partnership as well.
Well, we do too, no doubt about it, and I hope that you'll, if you have some extra time, come on down to the library and check some of these books out, see what we've got, and Christy, we'll look forward to some more of those workshops maybe that are going on at the Chamber from time to time.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Helping to sort this out. Thank you so much for joining us today to you too. We look forward to seeing you again on the Library Connection.